Hi. This one kind of goes along with the last one. There are a lot of people I know out there that are still trying to maintain belief in Messiah and keep the Pharisee traditions also, like living an orthoprax life and not having the orthodox belief, And then there's a lot of friends that are into this that study Kabbalah too, and they believe that it was a different sect of Pharisees that were being admonished by Messiah back in the day, and not the ones that made the traditions we have today and stuff. And they believe somehow that it's going to come about where all of it makes sense. And so it's pretty important to get a real life example out, for people to really look at realistically and chew on and see that everything Messiah warned about the leaven of the Pharisees, it still exists in the traditions today. And I'll give a great example of this that I personally experienced, witnessed. Some time back there was a rabbi that sent an email to me asking if he wanted, or if I wanted him to sell our chometz again like he had done the previous year. And I told him, well, my wife and I decided that we're going to do it ourselves this year and whatnot, a real grassroots approach, old school style, like ancient times, just actually keeping it ourselves. And he wrote back and he said, well, let me make sure you know all of the things that, the details that go along with that. Because most people just let a rabbi do it because it's too much to worry about. And so he gave a list of requirements, and it was all in line with Torah perfectly, naturally, which would kind of just be like a reminder of what the Bible says anyway you're supposed to do. But the thing that I found interesting was that if I did let him do it for us, then it would have gone a whole lot differently. And if you're familiar with the Torah requirements, it says you must remove the chometz from your dwelling for the duration of the Passover. And if you're familiar with the Orthodox halakha, you'll notice that you take everything that's chometz in your dwelling and you stick it in a cabinet somewhere, a cupboard, and you seal it off, and you can't open it for the duration. They put your name on a contract list, and they go before a city mayor or governor or something like that, and then they do the contract where they sell the chometz to him. And then at the end of the time period, he goes and buys it back. And then he'll send you an email saying, okay, it's all done. And when it's done, you could unseal your cupboard and you get your chometz back. Okay, so, and I do realize already that there are always lengthy explanations in the books for how things come about, especially in persecutions in medieval times. And this does not apply today at all. We realistically can follow the Torah if we want today, no matter what happened in medieval times. And plus, before I get more specific, there are always explanations also that people give. I call them excuses nowadays. Sometimes they could become so elaborate that they'll try and mix Kabbalah and quantum physics and all of this magical, mystical stuff on a way, almost a Star Trek way of explaining somehow how the chometz is removed, even though if you see with the eyes of a child, if you see and be realistic, the truth is that the Almighty commanded us, you remove the chometz from your dwelling, and we do not. We only pretend to. And then a rabbi pretends to sell it for us, and then pretends to buy it back, and all of it is just a name on a contract, and the whole while you have it stored up in your home, and it never actually leaves the dwelling. So, when the Messiah told the Pharisees, you nullify the commands of the Almighty through your tradition, here is a great example of it still happening to this day on a very important, holiday. And another thing to point out is that the most devout, when they get it all sealed up and everything, then there's a ceremony where you go through the whole house and do what I call carpet combing. Every little thing in the cushions, the couch, there's even special vacuums, people you can hire. You every little teeny morsel you could find, and get it all out of the whole home, but yet seal the bulk of it up in a cupboard, and it never actually leaves the home. And how could this not be a more perfect example of when the Messiah said, you'll strain out many a gnat and yet swallow the same camel? You see? So I just want to encourage the people I know who are still into trying to kind of have your cake and eat it too, trying to believe somehow that the Pharisee traditions are not still living the embodiment of what Messiah was warning about. We just got to take it a lot more seriously and face realistically that he was here for a reason, he spoke for a reason, he taught us for a reason, and those reasons still exist. And that would just be my main encouragement, is for people to really think about it deeply and know that it's as much today as it was when he spoke the words, when he spoke them in the first place. Okay, thank you.